I want to take a little time. Take some time to think things over. Gonna spend a lot of dime. And can't afford to go over. Then the price brought heartache and pain. By the end, we were drinking champagne. Thanks, Caruk Hall, for busting my walls. Now it's time to pay for it all. I want to know where Jim is. How much do I owe him? I want to know where Jim is. I just tried to phone him. All right, that's it, boys. I got no more.
Okay. That was great, man.
I got no
You
more.
worked on that one.
I thought about it. I was up at 5 a.m. It's the only song that stays in
Were
range.
you nervous? You weren't nervous.
A little
Really?
nervous. I'm not a singer.
You did well for a split second there. Kind of remember being in my 20s at a strip joint or something,
Well,
man.
you know, journey.
All right, so we are in your home, Rob.
Yes, we are.
We are in a home that Jim is to the side, like right side of me, and he's co-hosting the show with me. I guess we can call this like the Construction Life 2.0 or something like that.
All right.
Right? And we all know Jim as the godfather of construction.
Absolutely.
You know, that's basically, recently I told him he's the Obi-Wan of construction.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's got the look. He's got the beard. Just got to wear a robe when he comes around.
So we were going to talk about your brand new home. It's a week old.
It's a week old, but it's not a brand new home. It's a remodel.
It's a remodel. It's a renovation.
It's a renovation.
He gutted the whole thing, but he kept a bunch of it. And so we want to just talk about your house and talk about the experience that you had with Jim. And I'm sure Jim's got a few questions.
Absolutely.
A couple? No? 1, 2?
Sure, I'll find some. Definitely find some.
All right. So, Rob, why don't you take us down the path? How did it all begin? How did you find Jim? How do you know Jim?
Sure. Let's go down the path. So we bought the house about 20 years ago. Shortly after Jim moved in, I would say five houses down the street.
Yeah.
And remodeled it. The audience doesn't know this, but this neighborhood has this thing called the Lambeth Ladies Society, where everybody hosts a summer party.
Oh, nice.
And we go from house to house to house to house. Finally got to Jim's house on one of them, and you get inside and you look at the finish, you look at the decor, you look at the overall quality of the job, and my wife and I, who's not in the picture,
she's here, but she's not on the mic.
She's here, yeah, she's not on the mic. We admired the work, basically what it came to. Over the years, getting to know Jim, becoming more and more, neighborly friends, we started to joke about it. This dump needs to be done, Jim, and my wife really wants you to do the job. And I don't know, Jim, how far back did that go? You've been busting my hump on that one for a while.
12 years.
12 years ago. So 12 years ago, it started. So finally, the climax for us to actually pull the trigger and to do this was a lot of problems with the plumbing. We had trees growing in the basement. Roots.
Okay.
And every year, twice a year, I'm off to Home Depot buying electric, one of those 100-foot routers and snaking out all the way to the city line. I had enough. And the fact that the house at the time didn't have a dishwasher and it didn't have a vent. So we decided to build a house around the dishwasher and a vent.
That's how you sold Jim?
That's how we sold it to Jim.
Okay.
So we figured we could do that for a pretty good price, but at the end of the day, it turned out the way it turned out to be, but it was fantastic.
But that was 12 years ago.
Right. So here's what happens. A year and a half ago, we decided, it's time. We got to do this. We've been thinking about it. We pulled the trigger. So we went to the street, obviously. Just for the audience out there, the two houses next to me were being renovated by the same builder, by the way. We'll leave the name out of it. Did a fantastic job. So I'll be honest with you, Jim, you know this as well, that we put a bid out to that builder, to Caruk Hall, and a third party. The bids came back.
As you should. A client should. You shouldn't just go after one person.
We're just doing our due diligence.
Yeah.
And I'll be straight honest. In our heart, we've always wanted to go with Jim. But at the end of the day, funds aren't unlimited. And we wanted to just do our due diligence. I think it would be the right thing to do for any buyer or anybody doing a renovation. So the bids came in. And we looked at the numbers. And having conversations with the neighbors next door, the numbers change over time. And, there's the little extra juice that happens here and the 10% that happened there and then a little bit more here.
Juice.
And by the juice, I call it. The juice.
Okay, the juice.
The juice. So by the time it was all said and done, you have a number in mind Everybody goes over. But if you go over that much, why not start with a better quality product and see if you can keep it to budget? Had the conversation with Jim, and I'll be completely transparent. Jim was not the cheapest of the bids, but we went with Jim anyways. I have no regrets doing so. At the end of the day, Jim did comment, and I thought it made a difference to us, where he said, look, I'm not in the business of nickeling and diming you. I know what stuff costs. I'm going to be honest with you. We'll put a budget together, kind of knows our style, and we'll work from that budget, and we'll try to keep it to that budget. I don't want to say, it's going to be X, and then it's X plus the factor, right? So for us, it was important that we had a finite number. The finite number was the number. Whether it was big or large, it was irrelevant. It was
I got to ask you, though, Rob, where did you guys get the number?
From Jim.
No. Where did you get your number?
So I thought, doing the math and a little homework and asking the neighbors and checking the internet, a couple $100 a square foot. You can get a renovation done.
What year are we talking about here?
Well, this is what the internet
What
tells
decade
you.
we're talking about
I
here?
agree with you. I agree with you. This is what the internet tells you. Right?
Okay.
So with that in mind, no one can see the house, but you figure $200,000 a floor. That's pretty good renovation. $200,000 a floor. It's not a massive house for the audience out there. We're under 3,000 square feet.
Including the basement?
Including the basement. And the city likes to also include
city.
enclosed areas. But at the end of the day, the number was a number. The budget we had in mind was not the number we wanted, but the number that Jim gave us wasn't that far off. And he wasn't that far off from the other guys. So I did some quick math. If everybody else I knew had an overrun of 25, 30, 40% anyways, why not go with a higher number and try to keep the overrun to a smaller number if you're going to do an overrun?
That's a good plan.
So that was the one plan. Plus, I took in the factor that I know the quality that I'm going to get out of Caruk Hall, and I'm a bit snooty when it comes to quality. I'm not I don't need a 10,000 square foot house, but I want a really nice, and you can attest, I don't know. You've been
Yeah, it was a great walkthrough. I mean, the quality's here.
And we wanted a quality home.
Yeah.
So we went on the premise that we're going to pay a little more to get a little more, and hopefully we stay within the number that was allocated. And I'll be honest with you, besides any self-induced pain, Jim has been pretty much spot on. Garage door was a little bit off, Jimmy, but everything else. Well, Jimmy prices for single doors because he puts a little pillar in between doors. I go, no. We got double doors here. So anyway,
so it's twice the price.
No, it isn't. It's a little more. No, but besides the door, big deal. He's pretty much. I'll be honest with you, pretty much spot on. We know the numbers. We've been doing the numbers all along. So I have no regrets. We have no regrets, and obviously the quality of the product speaks for itself.
It's great. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I guess you guys can attest. But Jim, you could also say numbers are number one, right?
For sure. Numbers are always, it's what drives the bus, right? But, we also, when we were in the design stage, because Craig did the design for Rob, and originally they were going to leave the 8-foot ceiling.
That's on the main floor.
Yeah.
And keep the second floor. Where I kind of really pushed hard you got to have a 9-foot ceiling. You're going to get a new floor system. But, with that comes a price tag, right?
Make your mechanical life a lot easier, too.
It did make my mechanical life a lot easier. And the suggestion of raising the ceiling height. For us, it's never been about a resale value. We're going to live in this home. This is our home, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully my kid can take it one day. But the fact that not raising the ceiling height would not give you the effect that the house feels right now.
It feels right.
Right. It's to scale, right?
Yes.
So that was a great thing that happened with those suggestions. And those are the couple of things that I took appreciated from Caruk Hall. The fact that, because I had some crazy idea about the exterior.
Yep.
I wanted to put in this stuff called longboard, and longboard was insanely expensive. And Jim says, no one's going to know it's longboard up there. So let's work with who we work with, Vic West, and come up with a Vic West product. So I thought it turned out fantastic.
Looks great.
A third of the price, if not less than a third of the price, and it looks fantastic. And it's bulletproof. It's not as if I'm, taking it on the chin because the quality is not there. The material. One of the things that was important to me in my age bracket is I don't want to be on the roof dealing with shingles, and I don't want to have to deal with outside exterior painting. So if you notice the finish, nothing here is going to require any sort of long maintenance. Yeah, we got Trex for the decking. All the exterior finish is either stucco or it's metal. The roof, although it looks like shingle, it's all metal.
Yeah. Which is great. It's a premium.
It's a premium.
But you know that you never have to deal with it ever again.
Not in my lifetime.
No, which is perfect.
So those are the suggestions that Jim had brought to the table, which altered our budget, but we were willing to accept that alteration. Another suggestion, one of the things that it's a tough one to swallow, but windows and glass.
Expensive.
And it's a huge choice that you have to make. And I think the finish you get out of windows really
Makes the house.
makes the house. So, we were tempted to go with if we were going to save some money, maybe do it on the windows. But then Jim said, yeah, that's not the place you want to save money on. So again, going with Pella with, again, no regrets. I'm allowed to say brand names.
Yeah,
Of course
sure.
you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going with Pella, no regrets. And the service from them, we've had a little thing with the screen today, but they took care of it instantaneously. I think the look of the windows,
They look great.
the feel of the windows, the way they open, the soundproofness of the windows. I can't hear anything outside anymore. So, those are the things that Caruk Hall brought to the table that, as first-time renovators, had.
This is the first time that you guys did a big remodel like this?
This is the first house we've ever owned, and this is the first remodel we've ever done.
Oh, that just ups the ante now. How, dramatic.
No designer. So any designs were done by Jim.
And you took your
Craig.
lead from Mr. Internet.
And took a little bit from Mr. Internet and a little Mr. TV, HGTV. Hate to say the
Oh,
name.
here
but,
we go. There's a brand that we don't want to say
Yeah,
on
okay,
this
there
show.
it is. But, that was my design concept, right? Now, having said that, I work for a really great company, and I get to travel a lot, and I've been in a lot of hotels, and I get to see style. So you can see the Italian flair for the tile in the house. And
There's
so
a little bit in here.
There's
for
a little
sure.
wop in here, right?
It matches the food that was here when we arrived and the wine. It was great. It's amazing. I only do this podcast for the food and wine. That's all I
Well,
do.
you
for.
came to the right house for that.
So, I got to ask, Jim, how was it when you had your neighbor coming up to you, asking you, can you tear down my house and build me my dream home? How did that feel? How was that experience?
It's great. It's flattering, but it's also, you live 5 doors away
that puts a little pressure.
at the time. So, I don't live 5 doors away anymore, but, still there's that friendship, relationship, and then, plus I still pretty much know everybody on the street. So I think you're almost forced to perform, and and just have this thing go without a hitch.
And you bring up a good point there, because the neighbors were very scrutinous, right? They've seen a lot of construction in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
There's a house behind me that's been at it for 3 years.
What's taking so long?
Don't ask me.
Yeah, no, it's one that's in the neighborhood, and I still live in the neighborhood. Is that I don't understand why the city has not either shut it down or forced them to get it done. We're
it.
going on 3 years.
It's an
3 years.
eyesore?
It's
It's
a
an
mess.
eyesore, huh?
The hoarding is an eyesore because it's falling apart.
But
But
for a year,
it's
the outside was a mess, and it's a corner house.
Hoarding's not designed for seasonal.
No.
So
that brought a lot of pressure to him, right? So the neighbors are always, oh boy.
But there's a little backstory to this. Too.
Okay, I want to hear that.
So the house next door, both houses next door that Rob was talking about that got renovated by the contractor that he interviewed, I priced them both. Didn't get either one of them.
That's interesting.
Huh?
That's interesting.
Now, the one next door, I think he wanted me to do it. I'm pretty sure he wanted me to do it because the second time he came by and asked if could do it, we were too busy and we couldn't, and he went ahead with the other fella. But the other, I said to you too. I said the
beautiful
contractor
homes.
that did those jobs next door did a fantastic
they're
job.
they're nice. They were nicely done, and the service level for them again was in no question, right? But
And I think when we were talking that it was mostly your comfort level with me,
You.
because of the relationship.
Yeah.
And, we had to make that very clear that
I'm Italian. I got to like the person I deal with. I've always
course.
liked Jim.
But Jim's not Italian.
It's in the construction business.
Honorary.
Yeah, honorary. And my wife trusted him, and he made it easy for us. I'm looking at her. I don't think we had an argument about what? Nothing.
No signs of divorce dust.
No signs of divorce
nothing.
dust. Jim was whenever he said something was going to happen, it happened.
From the very beginning, you guys are starting on drawings and you're getting through the whole process step by step.
Step by step.
Held your hand, walked you through it.
Never did it before.
So what are the little things that the other builders that quoted did do that turned you off? And what are the little things that Jim did?
So Jim has basically a build sheet. The other guys have a vehicle for showing what they're bidding on, but Jim articulated it line by line and put a budget line towards it. And
Every single item.
Every single item. So the HVAC was called out, the electrical was called
176 lines, I think.
out. Yeah. So each line was
That's a lot of
called
lines.
out.
Really?
The other guys had, let's call it
Groups.
a bucket called exterior, a bucket called this. And so does Jim. He organizes it, but then you have the itemization within it. So if you've never done this before and it's not second nature to you, looking at the spreadsheet at least had some semblance of where we were in the process.
Yeah.
Right? Where are we? How far in are we? Are we really that far over? It's clearly marked out in that spreadsheet. And if there are any issues, we discuss. I mean, can we change something here that, like, for example, the stairs were never, I talk about self-induced pain. Quoted pickets because we said pickets.
Yeah, closed risers.
Closed
stringers,
riser.
everything.
And it just doesn't fit the feel.
No, it doesn't.
So he says, let's think about glass. Got us a great deal on the glass guy.
Which is an upcharge from Pickett's.
100%.
And then open riser.
Open riser's another upcharge.
Probably more than 100%.
Definitely more than 100%. We're in the 200-300%.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, a lot of homeowners don't understand that the moment you go open riser, you got to go thicker tread.
Yes.
More material.
Yes. And it's got to be clean.
And
It
you're not
can't be
talking
rough.
about, it's got to be, and these are oak.
And it's finished,
white.
And it's finished carpentry.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. And then putting the glass on it, which just accentuates everything. There can't be any
Well,
blemishes
you know
on
what? It becomes furniture,
It
Yeah.
does.
right?
It does.
So again, there's where the upcharges come in and stuff like that. But again, it makes the house. It gives the house the feel.
See, the budget sheet that we use with all these 176, 180 items, I mean, it's good for us as a builder also, that if there's nothing in the box, then it wasn't priced.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't come
Makes it
back
simple
and
for you guys.
can't
Yeah.
come back and say, hey, well, that should have been included. Well, nope, nothing in the box.
Take your roof line. So Jim gave me a couple options, right? He offered me, and I'm glad that I didn't take the offer, builder grade HVAC system.
Right.
And there was a line item for that, but there was another line item underneath it. Can I say names?
Sure.
So there was the tropical installation.
Which
The
is
tropical installation.
Tropical's our heating contractor.
Okay, I gotcha.
So now we're going from the regular little kind of dial switch, then you can see what's on the wall now.
So you're getting into the 21st century.
21st century,
Yeah.
zonal control of the house.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
wife likes it cold upstairs. I want a different temperature on the main floor. So now having the ability to control the house the way I can control it. One of the most beautiful things I've experienced from living here.
First thing that came out of your mouth when I walked through the door.
Normally, when I walk up the stairs, it's like walking in an elevation. It gets warmer as every step you
That's
take.
what we all grew up as.
And this house does not do that.
It's within a degree or two.
It's not even with it's dead on.
It's dead on,
21 and a half, 21 and a half. The basement's a chillier, a hair colder, but everything is consistent.
It's not that wall, that climate wall.
But Rob, what was that? Another $8,000, $10,000 option?
Well, we had to put in an HRV. It was another 13.
Right,
Yeah,
you're right. 'Cause
13.
it's all motorized dampers that controls the zones, right?
And,
And-
pushes all the air in one area,
That
closes
we
up the
we
air
just
in the other.
run one trunk line for
Right
the
to-
second floor, right into the attic, and
Yeah.
then we feed the second floor from there.
No bulkheads in the house.
Yeah, which we all know, bulkheads are crap.
Yeah, and there are none in the house because he runs his main trunk up through the attic in spray foamed insulate, which I thought was amazing.
Right.
Everything comes down from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And everything comes up from the floor. So there's no bulkheads on the main floor. There's no bulkheads on the second floor. It was a really nice upgrade to have rather than the standard, HVAC that every house would come with.
Yeah, and you'd walk upstairs and it'd be 8-degree difference.
Right. And that was a mandatory that we couldn't have that.
How close is your experience with Jim working on your house for the first time to Mr. and Mrs. Internet and Mr. and Mrs. HGTV?
Not close at all.
Not close at all.
No.
It's not realistic.
There's some realism to it, right? The one thing that you don't get on TV is a gradient of time. You really don't know how long that show took to shoot.
I
right?
forgot to ask you, how long was this job that he quoted?
So this job, because I'm paying him on a monthly bill. Took exactly as long as he said, 10 months. So we moved out. Now, we moved out a little earlier because we had the luxury of doing so because we had to take a year on lease. So it was a very comfortable move out for us. We got a little time. We just moved up the street into a condo. We did our thing. 10 months later, as soon as the construction
10
started.
months, eh?
10
You
months.
started November, right?
You started in November, and we moved in September 3rd.
Feels good, doesn't it, Jim?
It's good, brother.
Everybody is amazed. Like, even friends of, like, you're on time. So we have a couple colleagues that started renovations before us. We've moved in before they did. So that breaks their chops.
Do you rub it?
Yeah, of course, we rub it. Are you kidding me? You got to pick the right guy, man.
Don't rub it too hard, man. Don't rub it too hard. So it's not anywhere near. Reality is not there.
No, reality is not what really happens.
Okay. Because you guys went through it. So you guys saw everything from the very beginning. You saw your house that you guys moved into and it started being demoed.
Yeah, that was tough.
Ripped the roof off?
Ripped the whole second floor
roof,
off.
everything. There was
Everything gone.
Everything.
It was this wall and these walls left.
Were
That
you
was
guys
it. All gone.
they here watching that?
So I'm here. I don't know if that breaks Jim's balls or not. Sorry for the language, but
He was here every day.
Every day.
Well, I work from home, so I was here every day. But I bring the guys coffee. I wouldn't get in their way. And I remember one thing that the site guy, I got to give him credit, Al.
Al?
He said, if I can't do anything in front of you, then there's something wrong.
Exactly. It's very, very true.
Whatever you see me do, I'm going to let you see because that's the right thing to do.
Did they set up a cubicle for you in the driveway there?
No, but they knew.
No,
they knew.
We had an extra wheelbarrow for him one day. Yes?
As a homeowner, I took pride
You
in
did?
putting a little sweat equity into this place.
As you should, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
I threw 2x4s on the roof when they were framing. I cleaned the snow for these guys so
Every
they didn't
morning
have to
he was
waste their
out here.
time
Just
doing
as
it.
long as the Ministry of Labor doesn't show up and see you doing this.
Oh, yeah, especially with my bogs on and no construction boots and flip-flops in the summer. We take our chances. But, we take care of the guys. I mean, I wanted them to know that I respect, I take respect in what you're doing. I don't know how to build a house because you don't know what I know, but I know how to pick things up and sweep. So you want me to sweep something, I will go happily sweep it. You want me to pick shit up
That's
and throw
nice.
it outside, I'm happily, but I couldn't
That's nice.
put in a nail if you asked me to.
How were the kids? Were the kids excited about?
So my son, he's 13 years old. He was excited. He just wanted the finished product. He was more interested in make sure he had all his electronics in his room and his hardwire RJ45, and he's got a repeater in his
Talk
room.
to the computer
He could talk
and-
to everything.
yeah.
That's what my kid was concerned with.
Okay.
He
He doesn't care about all the little finished detail of the marble. He does?
Jim, he loves the time, the slusher, heated floor.
Oh, he loves that.
Heated towel rack. So when he takes a shower in the morning, his towel and his floors are heated for him. And then it shuts off when he goes to school.
How old is he again?
13.
Yeah, I was 13. I didn't even
I had
have
that too.
heat.
I had that too. Yeah.
We were lucky to have heat in the home.
I wanted to cool down, and my mother told me to lie on the tiles with no shirt on.
Exactly. That's how you get cold. Still too warm? Go to the basement.
Yeah, go to the basement and get a bottle of wine while you're down there and bring some prosciutto back.
So no designer. How is that? I mean, because I'm assuming that your friends, neighbors, everybody else is saying you
Oh,
got to get a
Craig-
designer.
No,
Craig
I
helped you
don't want to
a
say
lot.
no designer. I said
Okay.
we didn't hire a designer.
Okay.
We didn't go out there, and I know Jim had a designer that he likes to use. We didn't take that route.
Reason being?
Two reasons, really. My wife and I are on the same page when it comes to decor. So I thought making a decision would be easy for us. And we went through the lighting. It took 45 minutes. We bought every light in the house at Union.
That's got to be a record.
What's his name? Couldn't believe.
Steve.
Steve says, well, so I'll give him props too. So Union Lighting came down here, saw the house, got the feel for it, and says, okay, let's go back to the store. I got the feel. We know what we're going to fill it with.
I think it boils down to, again, is the team
Who you put together?
who I put together over the years, right? Because most of the times I said, go see Nancy at Watermarks
That's
for all
right.
your plumbing fixtures. They spend a couple hours there. And that's why I don't think a lot of times you don't need a designer, because
They know it.
Nancy would be the designer of all the plumbing stuff,
I agree.
And that's
Steve's-
exactly what happened.
right?
I don't want to take anything away from designers, but you're right, Jim. You put together the right team of people, of suppliers, and you just get a client and you go, listen, go speak to so-and-so.
Yeah.
I've got a great relationship with them.
And I'll tell you, that relationship has saved us a lot of grief, and it saved us a lot of time. I mean, it's actually saved us money. I mean, I don't know what things cost, but we weren't paying retail. We got the gym discount, if you will. But the fact is, and I'll be honest, we had a couple issues. Stuff happens. And because we used his supply chain and his trusted partnership with his supply chain, everything was rectified immediately.
Yeah.
They handle it.
I didn't have
That's
to.
the beauty of it.
I didn't chase it down. Al chased it down. Jim's guy Al chased it down for me all the time.
I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, the countertops are a lot of money. They didn't work out to exactly what
Spec
they
was.
should have.
All right.
Al made the call. I mean, I made the call. They were back here, ripped the thing back out. They were back within a week, and it was taken
Done.
care of.
That's the sign of a good relationship. Yeah, I agree. And also those relationships that you build in the industry, like Jim, you could probably attest to this, is that they think about all the extra little things. So if you're designing, you're getting all your plumbing fixtures, they're already thinking about what missing valves or what missing unions or what all kinds of little
that's why
things. The
we-
little things.
100%.
The little things.
100%.
That's why I send them to where I send them, to Watermarks, to Nancy, and I say, deal with Nancy. Because when the stuff shows up here, every little box
It's
master
Nancy gave them a
ensuite
folder
is-
with
yeah,
every part.
in it.
It was amazing, right? And we still missing one piece. It's been on back order. God bless him. It's been on back order for 6
Because he had to
months.
spend $2,500 on a faucet.
That I paid for 8 months ago. That's still not here. That's a spare.
That's not. Is that why it's covered? That's
not
why
it.
it's covered, huh?
That's
Hey, listen,
that's
you
not
want to
it.
hear the
But just Nancy gave Watermark gave us a spare, and they says when you're done with it, just put it back in the box,
give it back.
give it back to us.
That's nice.
If I went to Home Depot, would they have given me a spare?
They would have given you an apron.
Exactly. Exactly. So his supply chain at York was the other one with the stone. The flooring guys were fantastic.
I'm sure M2 probably suggested all the Schluter or the material like to buy.
We
No?
just use it.
he
You guys
uses it
just use it, right?
automatically.
That's
Yeah,
it,
we,
yeah.
But
we don't even tell them. It just shows up.
That's it.
And M2 was fantastic, and I met you at M2
Yeah.
when we got the area events and so on and so forth. And that was another thing that Jim suggested. The venting system. Try to make it look nice.
Make it pretty. Make it disappear,
Make it disappear.
which is great.
So they disappeared, and they honestly look like a piece of art on the
They
wall.
actually, they look really good.
They look really good when you said,
Yeah.
"What the hell is that thing in the wall?" Right? It looks good.
Looking back, is there anything that you may have done differently?
So there was always the dilemma for how much you're putting into this.
It's a lot of money, man.
Do you
honestly.
knock it down? Like this was our biggest.
Did you have
dilemma.
that conversation, Jim, with them?
Yeah,
Always.
You always have that.
always had this
Because it
conversation.
is, I mean, Jim, you agree, right? It's more work.
It's definitely more work.
Well, it's definitely more work when you're dealing with getting permits and utilities. And I had my share of nonsense dealing with the city. I could imagine if I had to get new water service, new everything, it would have been a nightmare, especially during COVID. I had none of those issues because I had existing service that they had to turn on and off. It wasn't
Yeah.
a big deal. The dilemma of going new or not new was a big dilemma for us because we spent a lot of money on this.
I mean, the only place you really see that the house wasn't torn down is the basement.
Yeah,
That's
just
it.
because of the ceiling height.
Ceiling
that's all
height.
it is.
That's
But
all
it's
it
just
a
is.
ceiling height.
walking in here, it still feels like a new build.
It
Yeah.
smells like a new build.
It is exactly like that. But you're right. But the city does what they do because they want to make money.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, right?
Right.
It's crazy. What is it, Jim? It's like $11,000 for new water service, sewer.
Twice.
Twice that nowadays?
Yeah. Because you get, like, as soon as you're deemed a new house, you have to get new sanitary and new water service.
And look behind you, and we're on a ravine. That's not easy to deal with either.
No,
So
you probably would have been paying a few extra premiums here.
lots of premiums to deal with. I call them the ravine police.
right.
Every tree is marked and censored.
Oh, those guys. Yeah, we all know them.
Yeah, but
Yeah. They're nice
we're
people.
Very nice people. Very nice. Love them. So that was another deciding factor as why not to go new. And then it came down to really economics. So a little background on the family. There's only 3 of us. I'm 50 plus years old. There's no more. Hopefully, there's no more. There's no more kids in.
You got a new house. You got a new master
You never
bedroom.
know.
eh?
You never know.
There's a lot of breaking in to do. You know what I mean?
This is Hollywood North. Anything could happen.
So only having a small family, did we really need that footprint in the first place? And
No, this is a great size home.
it's got a good feel.
Yeah.
It's got a good flow.
Look, at the end of the day, I mean, what were you raised in? I was raised in 5 of
Exactly.
us in 600 square feet.
3 brothers, 1 bedroom.
Right.
3 beds, 3 twin beds.
I lived at St. Clair and Oakwood.
That's what we were raised in.
Yeah.
And it worked.
1 bathroom.
One
It
bathroom.
worked. And I lived in a house with 3 brothers, so it was all boys and my mother.
Took shifts. That's all it
Yeah,
was.
that's what it was. So everybody's got their own bathroom. Everybody's got their own heated towel racks.
Heated
now.
towel, heated floors, heated everything.
It's all good now.
So, what are some of the perks in the home that you guys are still getting over? Like thinking, I can't believe we have this in our house.
So that the overall feel of the inside of the house with the temperature is impressive. It really is. I mean, I know I'm making a big deal about air conditioning, but it makes a big difference.
It's huge. It's your
It's
home.
a huge thing. No, I think it's one of the biggest features of a home is your air quality and just the way the system works.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially now with the whole pandemic and you're working from home. A lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are spending more time in their homes.
Yeah.
Winter's coming now, so the windows are being closed. You want a home that's an actual home.
Yeah, and with the they put in an HRV, so I'm always getting fresh air. It's kind of like the windows are always cracked in the house.
Yeah.
And even if you get a little bit of fumes that come off the the cooking that the vent didn't pick up, over time with the HRV running 24/7,
It's cycling the air.
It
Changes
changes everything.
Yeah.
It just changes everything. So that was one of the biggest impressive features of the house. I know this is going to sound crazy to you guys too, but you can relate. We never needed an alarm system in this house because as soon as you walk through the front door, every board in the place would creak, and
I still have friends that use that as their alarm.
So I learned the ninja moves on how to get upstairs while my wife is sleeping, so I don't hit the creaky spots. But you couldn't break into this house because of the creakiness. There's not a sound on the floor. Nothing.
So you need an alarm.
There's an alarm. Yeah, it's an alarm. Don't know how to use it, but it's here.
So Jim, Rob showed me the shower head. I haven't installed one of those yet.
crazy, eh?
The Kohler one. I saw it. But then I made him sad because I told him that it's black now.
They come in black.
It comes in black. I upset him.
They come in black.
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it at IBS this year in January. I saw it.
But we have white
They
tiles.
just launched it. No, it still works in the decor.
We have a white.
It
black
totally works
bathroom
with the
system.
black frame. It totally works.
Yeah.
But I was just saying that it comes in black now.
So that was one of the little frivolous. But so there was a decision to be made. So it was get a steam shower.
Which is also a good idea.
Good idea.
I heard there's more benefits in a steam shower than there is in a sauna, but
But we have a sauna.
You
in
have
the
a sauna
house.
Got
too.
us on it.
We have a sauna in the house. So we have the option was the steam shower or the Kohler natural rain head. I don't know what they call it, but the thing is crazy.
what's
So-
it called? Is it infusion? No.
Infusion.
I don't
What's
know.
that's that shower called? The rain shower that we have. Oh, it doesn't matter. But it's fantastic.
Apparently, he's asking our waitress. I don't know what's going on. It's the first time that we're having wine being served.
So that was a nice perk. The heated floors in the bathroom are always a nice perk. The heated towel racks are a really nice perk.
Is this the first time that you're having heated floors?
Yeah, that in my own home, yes.
Isn't it amazing how cold the wood is when you walk on the stone?
Yes. It's amazing because I keep it at 30, 31 degrees, and then you go onto the hardwood floor. So, ooh, it's cold.
That's chilly.
So those were some of the the updated electronics is a big thing, and having a really functional kitchen has made a big
As you can
change
see,
in our
he
life.
spared no expense with the appliances.
Yeah,
So outside of no dishwasher in the kitchen before
or hood,
or hood, no hood.
no hood.
Wow.
Everything smelled in this house, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I would actually go.
I'm
cook.
trying to visualize how to
The kitchen was right where you're sitting, right behind you.
Oh, really?
That
Okay.
was the kitchen.
Okay,
right
and it was
where
like a standard.
you're- galley kitchen, very small.
That was your
Okay.
old office over there.
Yeah, my office was over there, right. The kitchen was tiny in this house. It was right by a window, and we had a door, so we'd keep it open.
The kitchen probably started at that countertop, came this way, and then this was their dining room.
But you guys didn't blow out the walls. You stayed
No,
in the existing footprint.
Yeah, and the thing that was our biggest bane of contention was we couldn't move the stairs. We worked with Craig, the designer, Craig Ritz, to try to get these stairs off the middle of the house because it
You
was
couldn't do it.
No, we couldn't do it under a reno without redesigning
No, I
everything.
mean, there's the garage.
Yeah.
They're limited, right?
Yeah.
So what turned to be an eyesore to us, actually, honestly, after we've done the open riser, the
Became
glass,
the focal
it
point.
became the focal point of
Yeah.
the house,
Yeah,
and it
it
actually
is.
gives the house a nice feel. The staircase that is now what I consider an eyesore because it was right in the middle of the house. You were restricted when you have the thing right in the middle of the damn house because everything is kind of
So now you see right through.
It's a great idea. Yeah, it's true. Turn it into that.
never intended for this to
No,
happen.
make
It-
a negative into a positive.
Yeah, and I think the original design we were supposed to have a slat wall here, and
Yeah.
Jim said, "How am I going to put a slat? We'll just put it all glass, man. Let's just put it all glass. It'll look way better." I said, "Okay, let's do that."
Then speaking of the stairs, the stainless steel handrails were all fabricated in the garage.
In the garage on site.
Really?
Yeah, he cut all the pieces on site.
Cut all the pieces, welded it, polished it, done.
And they did the outside glass as well with all custom. None of that is.
Who's this guy? You got to give me his number, Jim.
He's fantastic. And I'll tell you, the guy takes such pride in his work.
Great, yeah.
Old school guy?
Old school,
Yep.
Middle Eastern guy, I guess.
He's somewhere in probably Ukrainian, something like that.
Phenomenal pride and ownership of his business.
The way it should be.
Happy to deal with him. Happy to deal with the guy. Yeah, he did a fantastic
Comes
job.
on a Wednesday. He's installing the following Tuesday.
Comes on site, does the measuring, gets it all going. He's fabricating, building
Yeah.
on site, and then installing.
He's
Well, the glass, like when he comes, like he usually does all the showers and all this, and now he's doing all this. For the glass, like the showers, he'll measure on Wednesday, and they're usually installed Monday or Tuesday.
And the day he said, I'm showing up to do your deck,
He shows up.
he showed up and he did the deck. Actually, he did the deck and this in one day.
I'm getting the sense that you really respected a lot of open lines of communication
I did.
from Jim and his team.
I did.
And everybody you brought to the table.
I did. Like, whether it was bad or good, I just want to know.
You
about
wanted the information.
it. That's all I wanted.
So you can make an informed decision.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Everything can be repaired. So let's have the correct information so we don't make the wrong decision, which will have implications 6 years from now. And in all reality, we don't know where we're going to be from 6 years from now. So we
don't know
do it
what-
right
might
out of the
change
gate.
or something, but we don't know.
We do it right out of the gate, and here's where we lie. Like we hopefully, I love the guy, but hopefully we don't have to call anybody because everything was done and accordingly, and we're just living in our home.
But if you were to call him, I'm sure he's going to show up, and whoever's the trade that's in charge of that situation.
In a second, and that's it. Anytime I needed him, it's been rare. It really has.
It's because, you know what? Again, we got a great team. We have Al ran the job for Rob or for us, and no, that was great. Al knows his stuff. I mean, again, it doesn't boil down to this, but often a kind of a different subject is who's going to take over when we're gone. Mm-hmm. Al's 53, 54 years old. Darren's 50, just turned 55 today. Like,
it's a little scary.
I don't think the next generation contractor.
Felix and Henry, 60. The stonemasons.
You don't have a lot of young guys, Jim?
Electrician.
I
I had young guys for the electrician. They were
Yeah,
fantastic.
we just hired Daniel. He's 25. And then Dan Hall. He's the youngest out of all.
But he's in his 40s.
He's
no?
45, yeah.
He's 45.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I'll say one thing for the audience. Having experienced guys who have been through a few of these things, many few of these things, have knowledge that really you can't buy, number one. And it changes the outlook of the house. An example. First question Al asked me, because there's a transition from where the floors lie in the living room to the kitchen, they change direction. And right on that direction change is a fireplace. So the first question he asked me, if the floor guys come in here, they're just going to start over there and move their way over. And that may mean that the panel that is by the fireplace may be ripped, and it's not going to be a full board. And he says, do you want that? I says, I don't want that. But Al thought about that preemptively. So he marked where the first board goes. So if you see the fireplace, I got a full board in front of that fireplace, and it's not jacked up anywhere else. So wherever they did the hide, you don't see it. So it's stuff like that.
The communication.
And being
just
20,
know
30
it.
years on the job.
You just know it.
You just know it.
You just know it.
You
But
just know
it's not something that's in your privy, right? Like I'm not even thinking about
Who's
that.
thinking about that? I'm like, wow,
But thank you for bringing it up to me.
But the fact that he brought it up to me made me think, you're right, because I have a good eye for detail. I can see little things that are off. And I would have noticed, shit, I really wish they would have not ripped
Over
that
time,
board.
it would have bothered you.
It would have bothered me.
Yeah.
But it never happened because they thought about it. So I think the experience, that's something you can't buy, but it's because they've had their lumps and they've earned, through hard knocks, that they give you suggestions preemptively to make the homeowner think, You don't have to listen to him, because I always used to ask Al, what color? What do you think about the color? He goes, hey, I'm colorblind. Don't ask me about color. So, but things like that.
Do you have a card, Jim, you pull out?
White.
Yeah, things like that, he will comment on. He'll say, oh, by the way, right? What do you want to do? Al also asked, now you saw those hexagonal water cut tiles in the bathroom? He asked me, which way do you want them to lie? I go, they're hexagons, Al. What's the difference? No,
6 sides.
There is a difference, right? There's where the grout lines are, they're different. I would have never noticed the difference in that, right? But the fact that he asked gave me the option to make a decision. We did it naturally anyway. And my answer was, well, what's normal? Because my question was, what's normal? Because I don't want to go outside normal, right? And he said, this is normal, so let's make it normal. But having a guy tell you that preemptively changes the way the house looks at the end.
And it also goes to, you don't see any thresholds.
You don't see any thresholds.
You don't see any thresholds. All these little details, right?
He makes my job easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
He'll call me up. Al will call me up. So, Jim, look, I need this, and this. Okay, done. Order this. Get it done.
Yeah.
Get it in.
So Jim's the quarterback. Takes all the glory.
Jim's, I don't know if Jim's more the coach.
The coach.
Al is the quarterback. Al really quarterback the site. Al was on top of the site. I'm no offense, Jim.
Hey, look I'm be the first one. Hats off to Al.
You'll give credit where it's due.
Yeah, Al was the quarterback. Al would phone me pretty much every day. He'd actually have a calendar out here. We'd go through it. So we got this coming. We got this coming. Al phoned me today to tell me that Pella and the Stud could come, and I said, they don't even need to come. Just come. We're home anyways. Just come. Just get it all fixed up. But Al truly was the quarterback. And
yeah, for sure.
He definitely took, I don't know. I hope he liked me. I got along with the guy a lot. I really liked the guy a lot. So, that may have shown.
You gave him a microwave. You must like him.
And I'm going to feed him. I owe him a tomahawk steak. I says, Al, you finish this house on time. So you're going to get a $100 steak. I'm going to cook you one.
A little thing on Al. Al is old school. Still wears a bandana.
Yeah. Still wears a bandana. Yeah. It's the 90s,
the do-rag. Shows up with his table when he runs a job. He brings his little table like this.
Okay.
Card table, whatever you want to call it. He's got his microwave.
Chairs.
I
gave him new ones.
Coffee maker. And he does the crossword puzzle
on break
every day.
On break. And I'll ask Al, you want a coffee? No, Al, you want a coffee? No, Al, you want a coffee? I'm going anyways. Okay, black. The coffee shop's right here. I make sure that the guys always had some coffee. But he's definitely the
here at 5 to 7 every morning.
Every morning. There was times where, and because I'm an early riser, I'd come down. In the winter, I would clean the snow for the guys so they didn't waste any time.
We got to find more clients like you.
I know, I'm too good.
It's 1 in a million, right?
I should get a rebate. I need a rebate. Get a rebate? But yeah, I had a really good rapport with the dude, and he was absolutely the core. But Jim is more he's the coach. Jim's like, you ever watch Pulp Fiction?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So he's like Mr. Wolf. When shit hits the fan, we're gonna call Jim, and he makes a couple phone calls. And there's people at your door fixing stuff. It's awesome.
Are there towels in the powder room that we need to change here?
There are towels in the powder room that need changing. We're having a hard time finding black towels, by the way. They're not easy to find.
Amazon, I don't know, Wayfair, all those places.
They've been a great crew. The crew is the team, the whole team. And we've had Darren on site, too. And Darren did some of the finished woodworking. And he is a master.
Yeah,
just
beautiful.
A master at finished woodworking.
And this is Brenlo. Is this Brenlo?
Yeah.
All the trim is Brenlo. Yeah.
And again, how did we pick the trim? I asked Jim. I said, Jim, Jim, let me see a couple houses you've done. So what I was saying
came into mine.
Yeah, it came into yours, the one the one on Wimbledon there. So it went into his, and he just did a new one that he was building. The owners weren't in. He gave me a sneak peek. I says, yeah, that works, right? That's the one I want. So
2100.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
What do you mean?
That's the number of your trim.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's the actual model.
It just came out in the last few years.
It's fairly new. It's the one it's one piece where there's no back bend, but it has a back bend.
The one thing
it's nice.
It's all got straight lines on it.
Yes.
There's no curvature to it. So again, fits the detail of the house where everything's a straight line.
Yeah, and I noticed that you went with the solid wood 1 3/4 doors.
Doors, yeah.
Right.
Jim's
Triple hinges. Beautiful, man.
And then again, the doors, they came with the 4, what do they call it? Those 4 squares. I don't know what that
Panels.
Panels.
Yeah.
So Jim spruced those up as well. He says, we're going to match the shoe mold and we're going to make sure that everything looks.
Because they were just 4-panel shakers, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
So
But
now we cleaned them up.
So
So you guys added a profile.
yeah,
Yes,
they added it on. And I says, do we need that? He goes, yeah, yeah, you need that. I says, okay, do it. I know my wife was hawing. She didn't say, it looks good like the way it is. I go, just let Jim do what he does.
Do you see how it matches the top of the base?
It does.
board?
I know it does. It does. I get
Trust
it.
me.
I don't know if my neighbors will ever realize that, but
They will know it. They'll notice it after a few trips of coming in.
what they do notice, they may not be able to pinpoint, but there's
Something.
Everybody has commented on it. Goes, man, do I love the trim in this house. They don't know what it is, whether it's the girth, the bulkiness of it, the shape, the cut of it.
Yeah, you got what? 8, 10 inch? 8, 9 inch.
It's 8, yeah.
It's an 8 inch, yeah.
And everybody comments on even the blind guy says, oh, these are real. This is a real, I can do something with this. Yeah, this is something. Like this is real. Like normally it's this little tiny thing. So there's some girth, there's some mass to it, right? It looks beefy.
That really brings up a point because so you moved in a week ago. You took possession of the house a week ago.
Yeah.
You're still waiting on furniture.
Yeah.
But people don't realize that you've spent all this money building a house.
Yeah.
And now you got to get drapery.
Yeah.
Blinds.
Yeah.
Furniture.
Yeah.
Art.
Art's coming.
All kinds of stuff that's just
Over
more
and
big.
above.
Mirrors.
But that's got nothing to do with you, Jim.
Nope.
You
But-
can make recommendations, but
So let's talk about some of the stuff that he recommended. Not necessarily. Well, you did recommend the blind guy, which was fantastic.
The blind guy.
the blind guy.
The blind guy. Yeah. But what was imperative? So again, back to the team, where Al said, "Hey, you're moving in September 3rd. You got to start thinking about blinds because if you move in, you're going to be putting paper mache up.
Yeah.
On it. So our blinds are okay. This is the only one that's not in, but the rest of the house has been done already. So before we moved in, the blinds came in.
Perfect.
So that was a suggestion that Al said, "Look, you're going to do blinds." He says, "Yeah, we're doing. Of course we're doing. You got to order now." And he was spot on the timing. We had blinds when we moved into the house.
which
So
is great.
Ed, the blind guy,
Yeah, who's not blind? By the way,
not
20/20
blind.
vision.
What's
by
his
the way.
name? Ray Charles? What's going on here?
was our first time using him. I got
Okay.
him from a recommendation.
He was fantastic.
And it was kind of, I didn't know how it was going to work out.
So I got to tell you a story.
What's that?
Okay, so we're near the end of the build now, right? Money's been flying out the door.
Oh,
So Jim says, Jim, Al says I need to get blinds and I got to start doing this now. We're talking about this in like July. So I phone up this guy, Ed. He gives me his number and he goes into this diatribe.
Spiel.
He goes into the spiel and he scared the living crap out of me. But at the end of the day, we went with Ed. He was fantastic. But let me give you a spiel, right? So there's a specific model of blinds that I guess are the standard. What does that make?
Hunter?
Hunter, yeah. He goes, so Hunter is like the entry level for me. He says that I don't do Hunter. He goes,
Hunter is not the entry level.
but for
Apparently
him,
for him it is.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I already started to think.
Yeah, you're
I go,
sweating.
what?
Yeah.
Okay. So wait, it gets better. He goes, all my motors come from Italy.
Motors
Come from Italy. They have a 10,000 hour life. He gives me all these specifications on the hardware, which he was adamant that he puts together, and none of it comes from overseas, from Asia. No offense to the Asians. It all comes from Italy and so on and so forth. And he is vertically integrated. He does everything himself. He creates the mechanism, so on and so forth. So I'm sweating buckets. I go, this doesn't sound good. You're telling me the top end blind thing that you would see in this
Hunter.
is the level that you start at. And it gets worse from there. So he says, okay. We said, okay, come on over and measure the house. We said. They came over and measured the house and we got the bill. And I'll be honest with you, it was absolutely, totally within reason. It wasn't astronomical. I don't
Really?
know if it was because
So you didn't go motorized.
No, I didn't go motorized. It
Okay.
wasn't necessary. Come on, for the 2 or 3 that
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it for
No.
the 2 times that you use these damn things. But he had fantastic product. He spent so much time with you, went over the decor of the house, went over the materials with you. He was phenomenal. Installed them exactly when he said he was going to install them. And the price was not astronomical, I'll be honest with you. Now, I don't know if he was doing you a favor to make you feel like, oh, I want
first
to
time
use
that
him
you
all
were
the
using
time.
them.
Yeah.
He's putting the ones in on another job we're doing. And that's where I met him. He recognized me, and then we just started talking. And then the next thing you know, I said, "Here, you know what? Go price your house.
Yeah.
So let's see what it's all about."
What was the brand that he ended up going with if it wasn't Hunter?
It's his own brand. Like,
It's his own.
He makes the thing from scratch.
Wow.
He manufactures every bit. He's completely vertically integrated. His shop is in Oshawa or Pickering somewhere,
Markham, maybe?
or somewhere out there
Yeah.
in the East End, and he does everything. His installers were phenomenal.
How old is he?
He's in his 60s.
Makes me wonder, okay, the other two builders that you were considering the same time you were considering Jim, were they
How
in
old
this?
were they?
Yeah. How
No,
old
they were younger than you.
That's my question, because I know that a lot of younger guys are starting to set up big companies to sell themselves as new builders.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, how do you feel about that as a client? Would you be confident in seeing guys in their 30s and I could build you your house?
I would be confident in someone in their 30s or 40s building my house if they had a track record and if they had a reputation. So Jim has a little bit of a brand. And outside of the fact, if I may have not ever watched his TV show or whatever, I've seen every house he's built in the neighborhood, and he's built at least 6. Not one of them is a lemon. So
No.
I don't really care how old he is. That wasn't my deciding factor. I mean, I take some comfort in the fact that he has that experience. But my deciding factor is he's got a track record that says you can do it. You know, I'm in the tech business. Most of the hot dogs are young guys, right? Smart guys are the old guys, but the hot dogs are the young guys. But when everything goes astray, they look to the old guy. They
Yeah,
don't look
come
to-
and solve this,
Yeah, go
Mr.
fix
Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, right. I'm Mr. Wolf for who I work for as well. So go fix this, right? It's not the 27-year-old that just got out of university.
Oh, by the way, there's some towels there you got to fix
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I know. That's my wife's business, man. I just pay for stuff.
No, I'm talking about towels from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, Pulp Fiction. Oh, that's right.
That's my reference
Yeah,
about
yeah,
towels.
yeah, yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
about
yeah.
the brown towels over there.
Oh,
No.
you got the color, Jesus Christ.
It's a podcast. Nobody can see it. So that's interesting. So, I agree with you. Track record means a huge amount
Yeah.
of things. So if you do a job and then if something goes wrong, it's how Jim and his guys handle it.
So
Respond.
what if these young guys starting out in their 30s, what if they went to somebody like myself in his 60s and said, "Hey, why don't you be the figurehead of my business? Because of your experience, gets us kind of semi-retired, us older guys semi-retired." That's not a bad.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but here's the only thing. So I'm the outsider looking in on this, right? So just because a guy approaches you, does that mean he has the skills that you have? Unless you're willing to take him under your wing
You
and
almost-
mentor him.
But you did say what is the guy's track record. Now I'm talking that they hire somebody that has a track record or years of experience.
Okay.
Would that help?
You have a brand. You do have a brand.
You've built a brand.
But I think, what works for Dan and I, he's 45, I'm 65, is that, we sell ourselves as we have close to 70 years experience. Obviously the 47 years are mine.
Right.
And, but I think, when Dan and I partnered up, he saw that.
I think it's advantageous for Dan because he could take the reins over from you,
Right.
and keep the brand with Caruk Hall.
Right.
And as long as Dan adheres to the same protocol and quality that you would adhere to personally, as a company, even if you were out of the picture, retired chairman of the
Yeah.
board, call it what you will, I think Caruk Hall will move forward, dynamically and
Right.
grow because
Because they're still carrying that.
you're carrying that, right? It's like, Mr. Pella still around? Probably, but if he wasn't, or Anderson Windows,
But the
Mr.
brand is around,
The
right?
brand is around. And
I remember I was at one of your roundtables, Jim, where there was one of the guests spoke up and talked about, he was in, I think, his 60s. And he spoke up saying, I have a son. He's not interested in being in construction. What's going to happen to my business when I'm done working? And that was the big dilemma. And
There you
I
go.
see what you're saying, Jim, about what if these younger guys approached the older guys and said, listen, I want to work for you, under you, take it on, take over, and continue that brand when you've decided to move on. I don't want to dog the younger guys and millennials, even though people think that I do. I'm just saying that I think their ego gets in the way where they want to build their own brand. But Jim, you've been at this for 40 plus years, almost 50 years working at your brand. You've established yourself. And I don't think any of these younger guys want to work the trenches. I don't think they want to get dirty.
And that's
You
the
hit
key.
it right there.
That's the key.
That's the key. That's the problem. So I don't think a lot of them are going to go, Jim, listen, I want to work for you. I want to take over one day and do that. I don't think a lot of guys are out there that are thinking that mentality.
No, well, they show up. Okay, what do you got? I got 3 years experience. I want to make $45 an hour.
There you go.
Sorry, man.
It's the entitlement factor, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are saying those words. I'm not saying it.
No, but look,
I'm just,
look,
I get enough grief from millennials because they keep on dogging me, okay?
No, but-
I'm a Gen X and
all
they
right.
keep on saying,
Okay.
you're no better.
Okay, so just to give again, I'm not trying to offend anybody here, right? I'm
Why not? We do.
54, 54 years old. I'm the guy spending all the money, right?
Yes.
And I'm the guy shoveling snow.
Yes.
I'm the guy moving wood to the
Much
up into the
respect.
roof.
Yes.
I'm the guy sweeping the floor every night so they can have a nice,
Yes.
clean job site.
Getting
Not that
coffee.
they don't have a nice, clean. Getting you coffee. Did I need to do? No, I didn't.
No.
I didn't.
But
need to do that.
but what does that tell you?
That's just it's the generational gap.
It's how you were brought up.
Right. Like even my kid. I mean, you
Careful, he might listen to this.
No, it's not. Look, I'll tell him to his face. He's got everything compared. He's got everything
Compared to
me.
when you were his age.
But my father, from Italy, living on a mountain, would have said the same thing to me. And I thought I had dick as a kid. I had a hockey stick. He never even took me to a hockey game. I had a hockey stick, and he thought I had everything. So I think my kid has everything. It's all relative, right?
All
guys?
relative, yeah.
It's all relative. But there is one thing that is true regardless. If you don't put in the hours.
Yeah, the work.
The work. Whether you get paid or not is irrelevant. You got to put in the hours. And when the hours are there, then you've earned your stripes. And until you've earned your stripes, entitlement means nothing to me.
Right.
You don't come out of school.
You and I have talked about this before.
Lots of times.
With the young guys and how they get up and leave you and move to some other company because, you won't give them $1 more an hour. And the whole thing is nobody in the last 20 years has been in a recession.
That's true.
I've been through 3.
That's true.
This is the first sign of some sort of financial instability kind of
But
situation.
it hasn't really done anything.
It hasn't
to
done
our
anything
trade
because the
again.
government has basically padded our diapers and
Right.
go, here's some money, survive.
And here's how they're neutralizing it as well, which I think has some positive for the construction business in the future. I mean, have you seen what the U.S. mortgage rates are going to be and the interest rates are going to be?
I haven't been.
They're going down again?
They're going down again. They're going to be
Wow.
less.
Okay.
Like they're almost zero now. So the cost of borrowing money,
Well, they're at 0.25 or something.
getting a mortgage, money's almost free right now. I mean,
But that's going to turn.
it's going to turn. So for the folks that don't think that money is free forever because the rates are so low, you're in for a big hurt. This will be the same thing that happened in the United States where they're giving guys $1 million mortgages and they work at McDonald's.
And then they,
We just went
Right.
through that.
We're not going to go through that.
No,
but
I mean, when I'm saying we, I'm saying according to the Americans just went through that. But
possibly going to go through it again.
they will. They
potentially.
possibly will.
And same with us.
Well, unless we stop giving out money.
Right. The fact that money is cheap right now, you can't buy material. You can't buy. Everybody.
We were just talking about this
everybody's
before the
spending
mics
their
went
money on that.
Where a 2x4 is almost $7. A 2x4 it's killing the younger guys because they can't get their Starbucks.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the young guys because actually this week I've got a young kid working for me now, right? Julio, 28 years old. He's about to have a baby, right? So he's stressed out. He's panicking because it literally could be any day now, right? But we've been having great weeks working together. And today I just said, thank you so much. I was driving home. I wasn't driving and texting.
I get it.
Yeah.
I remember somebody said, Jim, why do you wear glasses? I said, so I can text when I drive.
So I texted him and I said, thank you for the day. Really appreciate it. It was good. We had a lot going on today, right? And he responded by saying, I'm learning a lot this week. Thank you very much.
So here's my question to you.
What's wrong
guys.
with that?
That was amazing. That
Okay,
was amazing to
see?
hear.
That's
That
nice to
because
hear.
my point. Sorry to interrupt, Rob. My point is that these guys are asking for a certain dollar value, but they're forgetting the experience value.
Agreed. You got to get the stripes earned, right? You
Yeah.
gotta put the time in.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because in my industry, this happens all the time. You know, when you
Because you're in a young man's industry.
Oh, absolutely. When you give away your IP, what's inside your head to somebody else because you've taken them under your wing and you mentor them, do you not fear that they just turn the table on you?
No.
Well, I got to believe I'll look to Jim. I don't know the story. You've
No,
had some tradesmen that started off as journeymen that probably became very good at something and then left you, and you probably hire them as subcontractors now, potentially. I don't know. But it happens in my industry all the time. If I mentor somebody, teach them what I know, which is fine. At the end of the day, you're not going to deliver it the way I deliver it, but I'll teach you what I know. There's a great risk that whatever I just bestowed onto you, you take on and go independently and you use it as your own intellectual property. Now, at the end of the day, he did put the hours in. He did.
You know what? And hats off to them, right? Because they have that entrepreneurial spirit. And there's nothing wrong with that. I did it. I went, served my apprenticeship and everything else, did that, learned as much as I could. Then I said, see you. I'm out. I'm going to do this on my own. My foreman or boss at the time, he came to me when the day I walked in and I quit. And he goes, and I was 30. I was 30 years old, married, just had a kid, and just got a house, just bought a house, got a mortgage. And I'm quitting my job to go on my own.
Talk about fear.
Oh, my God, risk.
And you know what he said to me? He goes, good for you. He says, if you don't do it now, you will never do it. The job is here if you ever come back. But he says, I don't think I'll ever see you.
So if you didn't do that, you wouldn't be Caruk Hall today.
Yeah,
You'd
you're
be
right.
still working for that dude, well,
Yep.
or retired or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? I'd make a good living. I was
Yeah.
in the union, did that, hated the union. Sink or swim, man.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of the kids taking the knowledge that I offer, or if they want to absorb any experience that's with me. I get disappointed if I don't see them advance it.
Yes.
Or use it.
Use it properly and grow from it.
Yeah.
If you want to just take what you can and then leave because you feel that I deserve another $5 an hour extra, that's not the point to leave in. Because guess what? You're not going to be able to contact me and go, listen, can I ask you a question about something? You know what I mean? I just had a guy on Instagram. This is really funny. I'll just tell you really quickly. A plumber in New Jersey. I've chatted with him on digital so many times on social media. He's always picking my brain. I'm not even a licensed plumber, but he's just picking my brain because I use a lot of Kohler products like you, Jim, right? So today he asked me, he goes, what do you think about the DTV Kohler? I was going, dude, I love them. I use them anytime I can. They're really easy to install and everything. He goes, great. I just want to know, can I pick your brain when I'm installing it? Because I'm actually installing one. I don't know if you guys know who this is. Mike the Situation from Jersey Shore.
Yeah, of course we know who it is.
So he's installing it in there. So I said, okay, Mike, his name is Mike too, from Jersey. He's taken over his dad's business because his dad doesn't want to propel the business into the digital age, and he's had enough. So then he's like thinking, I want to move my business. That's why he was reaching out to me and asking me, right? But now he's telling me about Mike's situation, and he's going to be hooking up a new toilet. He's going to be doing all the DTVs and all this other stuff. I was going, Mike, you documenting this online or what? Because I want to see this. I want to see Mike. He goes, Mike is actually shooting the entire thing about his house, right? So it's interesting that's what he stays. The lines of communication are still there. He didn't burn a bridge. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just like, listen, can I pick your brain, Manny? Can I ask you a question about that? And I take that. And that's how I met Julio, who works for me. He actually started doing his own work, and he never went through the permit process. And he would call me up and ask me, how do I fill out a permit application, Manny? I need to get a permit for a client. And I would just walk him through it. I said, listen, let's talk when I'm driving home. And I walk. So he was constantly calling me up. How do I do this? How do I do that? And I share, just like you, Jim, you share the knowledge.
Yeah.
And you take pride in seeing these younger guys go forward with that knowledge.
Well, I think it would, if I was a builder, I'm not, but if I gave away some, tidbit of information that I thought, would take them forward in their career, it's kind of like, I borrowed your tool, now I bought my own tool.
Exactly.
And now he's got that tool in his tool bag. If I were the guy that taught him that skill, and now that skill lives with him forever in his future, I would take some pride in that he's actually learned something. So I understand what you're saying. You're telling guys, or you're showing guys how to do this, and if it goes in one ear out the other.
And they don't see the value of experience hourly wage. That I personally think experience hourly wage is actually more valuable than money. I think what's
Yeah,
you learn.
yeah. I mean, I've always said to a lot of kids, regardless of what business it is, stop chasing the buck.
money. Yeah.
It will come.
It will come.
Always does.
It always does. If you do what you do and you do it well, the money will come. If you fake it, you're going to fake the money. It equates. It's linear. It's
Boils
a linear
down to the
equation.
law of
man.
attraction, man.
Yeah, it's true.
And the one thing, again, when it comes to doing it, if you do it right, it stays with you. I ask, how did they do? Well, they did a fantastic job. Well, I'm going to use them too. I'll give you another story. We had to move several times, right? Didn't know what to do with movers. We picked a good mover. I'm going to say 2 men in a truck. These guys were the Etobicoke branch, his own franchise, but this guy took pride in his ownership. He did a fantastic job, right? That whole ability to pass it forward kind of thing is important in the industry. You got to be able to do that sort of
Was
stuff.
it when you were shopping around and getting close to you and your wife, getting close to deciding that, okay, we're going to pull the trigger, it's Jim? Was it kind of like you're shopping for something and you're constantly seeing that item over and over as a reminder? So then when you were asking other people going, who should we go with? Who should we go with? Jim's name kept on coming up. Is that the idea that Caruk Hall kept on coming up?
Yeah, it was more. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to be honest with you. I was looking for reasons not to use Jim.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm going to be honest with you. You pretty much were the incumbent. All right, you didn't. I never told you that because I bitched about everything.
Always a bridesmaid.
He was the incumbent from the beginning.
Okay.
I was looking for a reason not to use him. So my hope or our hope was that we would find a builder that we had comfort in, that would do a comparable job, and it wouldn't cost as much. That never happened. To be honest with you, in my heart, I'll say it in front of you because the deal's done now anyways. I always wanted to use Jim. I did. It's not because he's been on TV. Well, maybe a little bit because he's been on TV, but
Back when TV was good.
But I've always liked this guy. I'm in a business where it's very competitive, right? And I use this analogy all the time. We're going to compare two cars. They're identical, right? They're identical. They're identical price. Their performance is identical in every detail. You're a Ferrari, you're a Lamborghini, but these two models are identical. They cost exactly the same amount of money. They perform exactly the same. Who do you buy it from? You buy it from the person that you like.
Yeah.
I like him. I always did. Because I liked him, I felt comfort in that. And I felt he wouldn't screw me, to be honest with you. As a human being, had nothing, I don't know him professionally. I know him from the street, but I don't know him professionally. And because I know him as a human being, I got the impression that he wouldn't screw me. Whatever it cost, but I wouldn't get screwed. And I would get what I paid for. And that's exactly what happened.
And that's what you were looking for.
And that's what we were looking for. And I was just looking for an excuse not to use him. But other's I
Well,
wouldn't.
you couldn't find him. You couldn't find him.
I thought maybe Bomber would be cheaper.
Oh, I can't believe, man. Yeah,
No,
he
I'm
would
sorry.
be cheaper because less
And
experience usually
there
is.
you go. No, but he always had the number. We're just looking for a reason. Geez, can we? And if we went with anybody else, I honestly think, Jim, I mean, we've done the spreadsheet. We're pretty close, right?
I think so, yeah.
We're close.
Like,
Besides
we're
the
done.
self-induced,
And
we're
that's
at,
a self of kind of like, you guys are relieved, man.
Yeah.
That it
Yeah, I
wasn't
he
these
got
monsters.
his spreadsheet every month.
Yeah.
And he knew where he was over. And then we kind of knew, okay, we got to pull back here if you can,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you want to.
Yeah.
He's guiding you.
Yeah.
Right?
And like this was a great month for us because, in order to contract the company, you have to put a deposit.
Yeah.
So I get to draw off the deposit this month, right? So we're at the end. Like everything's
the end. He
paid.
gets to
We're
draw
at the
off his
end.
deposit now.
I'm not even paying the bills for the last two invoices, which you get that sigh like, okay, I can go buy the stone now for the house.
I can go shopping for anything that has nothing to do with the house.
With the house, right? I can get some frivolous buy-in. Right?
Listen,
Nice.
you got the nice stone here.
Yes, we're gonna get the nice stone. We got some. Oh, that was the other thing too. The stone that we picked. I mean, the limestone outside. The way the guys that laid the stone. Everybody who's come to this house has always said they feel like it's so majestic when you stand encased in this limestone. The way it's shaped and the way it's just so straight and everything feels like you're in Europe somewhere, right?
From what it was
Yes.
to what it is now.
Yeah.
What was the original
Crazy.
exterior cladding?
Bungalow.
Oh, bungalow. It was, well, a story and a half. Story and a half.
Well, it looked like a bungalow.
Yeah, it looked like a
right.
bungalow. And that drove us crazy. Like second floor. We had a second floor, 3 bedrooms up
Couldn't
there.
see.
You couldn't see out the front of the window. There were no front windows.
So you, side windows?
You had side windows.
Okay, so you're seeing siding or you're seeing brick.
Right. And the roof, we had an attic that ran the entire length of the house.
Oh, wow.
That you could store thousands of artifacts in because it had a kneel wall and it was the greatest space if you were a 7-year-old kid to go goof around in. But it was absolutely useless. So they just straightened out the walls and went straight up. And we gained a lot of square footage upstairs just by straightening
You
it.
doubled your house.
Yeah, we doubled upstairs because of the way the old roof line was. The overall, again, not the biggest house on the street. Again, I know it's mine, so I'm going to be a little biased. But it looks good compared to everybody else.
No,
right?
but it's the biggest house for you guys.
It is absolutely the biggest house.
That's
for
all
us.
it is, man.
Yeah.
It's good that you guys built your house.
Yeah, we did.
You didn't build your, like you know this, Jim, right? Clients sometimes build homes for other people.
No, we built the house for us.
They build homes so then it can be photographed, or they build homes so they can have neighbors come in and go, show off here, show off here, show off here, show. Who cares? How about building a home for you?
Yeah,
Right.
this
Most
is the
people
home for
don't.
us.
You, your wife, your family, your kid, everybody. How about building a home for them?
That's what we did.
Family functions, everything.
Funny story. Years ago, I did a house, did a kitchen and a small renovation, but it was a very expensive kitchen, about $100,000 over here on the golf course.
Oh, okay.
A couple, no kids, professional, get it all done, very particular about everything, this, that, all that. And we finish it up, dust it all off on a Friday afternoon. There you go. It's all done. Oh, Jim, it's amazing. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. Go home. 6:30, 7 o'clock Friday night, 3 hours after I left. Jim, I need some help. This is his wife. I go, okay. What's wrong? Is everything okay? Yeah. We got like 20 people here, and I have to get the hors d'oeuvres ready. How do you turn on the oven?
Oh, wow.
I said, are you serious? She goes, I'm dead serious. We don't cook. And they just finished putting in, I think it was St. George's stuff. Like,
Oh,
it
my
was
God,
like
the crazy stuff.
crazy stuff, like back then, $50,000-$60,000 worth of appliances. I had no idea how to turn it on. So I had to go over and go, hi, everyone. How you doing? I'm the contractor.
Yeah, you don't know how to turn it on
in
either.
about 10 minutes.
Where's the manual?
I still don't know how to turn mine on, by the way. I know I can do it from my phone. That's cool.
You can.
Yeah, all the appliances are hooked in. Not only
But it's funny you say that because a lot of the homes, I just call them show homes. I love doing
I don't
them
get
because
that. I
because
don't
we
get
get
it.
to
I-
do it, right? We get to take the pictures, get the glory picture, and say, "Oh, we did this, we did that," and the things are never used.
we do cook. We use
Yeah,
our
for
kitchen
sure.
a lot.
Yeah.
I had no idea. For us, it was between Wolf or Miele. We went with Wolf. Everything, obviously, you can see even the toaster's a Wolf in this house, right? So
He's gone crazy with the wolf.
You got a wolf.
Look at
There's
that.
a Wolf coffee maker over there.
What the?
Yeah.
You got a thing for the red knobs.
No, I don't actually. We're gonna buy black ones because it's a black and white. We can change the knobs to
I
black.
should have charged him more.
So,
But
Mike,
wait a minute. So you got an induction range though?
no, that is a flat top gas stove inline. Look at it.
Really?
Just a gas
Go
cooktop.
go push the button. Go. He's got to put the left
Oh,
button.
no.
Go to the left one. Look at this.
What?
Yeah,
That's a wolf?
that's a Wolf.
That's a new model.
That's the contemporary line.
But that's not gas.
Gas.
What?
Gas.
I don't even know.
And this
Put
show's
in
brought to you by Wolf.
Pascal.
That's gas. So my electronic tech guy is here. Jim's guy, Michael Shaw. I got a C4 system that controls the house.
It's a nice system.
Nice
yeah.
system.
Yeah.
So he's here today programming. All of a sudden, all the Wolf appliances show up directly into his control.
So you
system.
know if the stove or the range is left
from
on?
the remote control from the TV, it will tell me when the dishwasher is shut off.
What?
I can start the stove, whatever
Like it's too much
temperature
stuff.
I want, from the remote control of the TV. Forget the phone because it does it from the phone, but it'll do it from the TV.
That's insane, man.
I didn't know. I didn't buy that for that. I had no idea.
But now you know.
Now I know because it's all hooked. Now I have it all.
Is that what society's come to? He's got to walk maybe 15 steps.
I'll never use it,
from
Jim.
the TV to
Hey, hang on. Rob just said he'll never use it.
Why would I
You're
turn on?
already using it.
I know I am. I am using it.
No, but that's the perks of it. And it's not about the showroom or show house. It's really about using your house, man.
I am using it.
Have all these toys. Have all these bells. Have them all. It doesn't
We
matter,
cook every
but
day.
use them.
We cook every day.
I tell clients all the time, please use your house.
We do.
I want to see nicks in here, little defects here, because you guys were using it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a pristine, clean kitchen.
Yeah.
It means you guys never used it, and it was always Uber Eats showing up at the door.
Yeah. That patina on the sink is important.
It's
right?
very important.
Yeah.
I think so, man.
Yeah. No, we definitely use the kitchen. We use every part of the kitchen. The nice thing about these new Wolf appliances is they do give you, you get to go to their King Street location to learn how to use all of their appliances. They throw it in as part of the cost, which costs more than the cabinetry, by the way. But
Right, you could buy a new Mercedes.
it is nice stuff, though. I am very happy.
Here's
with
the
the
real
appliances.
question, though, Rob. Does it cook?
It does.
And bake?
It does.
Better?
It does.
It does?
It does.
Okay, so it's worth it.
I do like to. I'm not a cook. I'm not a chef by trade.
But you cook for the family.
Like today we had Chilean sea bass, so it wasn't as if I threw a couple steaks on the barbecue, right? Yeah,
didn't
you
get a
came a
phone
little
call.
late. You came a little late. We had a really good dinner.
I
Today.
had some stale bread and some cheese.
You're lucky you got something.
bread.
Stale bread. That's
wasn't
calabrese
stale.
bread.
I thought
Man.
I
You
brought
crazy?
that bread over last week.
Man, that's a delicacy there,
That's a
man.
delicacy, man. It's
Cold cuts,
calabrese.
cheese, and bread? That's amazing.
Look, it's
Your wolf's calling
somebody's
you.
at the door. Yeah, your wolf.
Your wolf's calling you.
Yeah, my wolf's calling me. Hold on, guys. I gotta take this.
Don't mind us. We're just recording a podcast right now.
Okay. Yeah. So the appliances were a perk having all of this.
Is the other builder?
Are you still considering us? Nah.
They were definitely a perk having the all
Can you communicate with the bathrooms?
the lights.
The lights you communicate.
I can.
But you know that Kohler does offer the Alexa Connect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't have that, but
That's
yeah,
the next stage.
I put one of those in once.
Did you?
Oh yeah, it was like insane. Guy had music playing, this, that,
Yeah,
lights
it's-
going. It's crazy.
That's overkill. That's overkill.
So now that this is all done, you ready to do it again?
No, I'm done.
No?
I'm happy. This is great. Done.
Looking
Don't want-
forward to what your son maybe wanted to do it and then guiding him.
Maybe his lifetime.
Maybe if he wants to redo this house and knock it down or something. But honestly, from the perspective of doing it again,
I don't think you guys would want to see that. Would you guys want to see
No,
this
I
be
don't-
knocked down?
I don't want to see it.
Even 20 years from now? No.
no, I don't want to be alive. It's got to happen when I'm
Okay,
dead.
how do you think I feel?
Yeah.
Wait a second. 5 doors over is the house I built. Tore down, moved in, lived in for 12 years, sold it to the couple that's in it now, and now they want to renovate it.
That was 5 years ago?
No, the house is 15
Or
years
But they
old.
bought it 5 years
They
ago.
want to
bought
cut
it
they want to
yeah,
cut the
so
whole
they-
thing?
So they asked Rob to ask me, I guess.
Yeah.
And they've already reached out to me and said,
They didn't want to feel bad because it was his house that he lived in.
And how do you feel it? Because you know what?
but I'm okay with that because you know what?
15 years.
Everything has a shelf life. And
It's still going to hurt.
it's very traditional inside.
Is this kitchen going to be fashionable in 20 years?
You never know.
I mean, it's a very modern, shiny kitchen,
You never know.
right?
Could be a trend, right? That's why they call them trends.
I don't see any pears or fruits on the backsplash.
It's pretty. Yes, it's pretty basic.
Could be okay.
It's pretty basic.
I only say that because you're Italian and I'm Portuguese, so
but
we grew up with that.
Style is something that changes all the time.
It does, but you never know. You never know.
You know?
You know. I mean, I know that people argue about flooring, hardwood. People choose whatever's trending right now, but this is hardwood. You're going to change this hardwood?
One of the biggest decisions we made was the
Was
hardwood,
this.
and we went over this a lot of times back and forth.
You know what? Glad you brought up hardwood because hardwood, you got to be bang on.
Bang
Oh,
on,
yeah.
when
bang
you pick
on. It,
your
mean- it
floor,
means everything
'cause
to the
you
house.
have to live with this for the rest of it, and it's a big ticket, and you have to look at it
You have to stand on it. You have to feel it.
Pass out on it.
Everywhere you go,
everything.
it's
You had to
there.
clean it. It's the biggest surface in your house.
You gotta make the right decision.
So this is not a traditional hardwood
No.
floor that you're looking at.
You got to really
What is this?
like
This
it.
the maple or hickory?
Hickory.
Hickory, right?
And we did like a gray haze. It's called hickory haze. Was the color? I mean, there's not a lot of color in it, but as you can see, there's a lot of variation. This is not a very.
But that's hickory, though.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah.
The character that this thing provides is almost like artwork compared to the fact that we went with very minimalistic walls and very minimalistic design. So that the warmth of the room,
Yeah.
from our perspective, again, without designers, was we got to do
But
it
you
in
know
the
what?
flooring.
That's what you have to have when you go to a somewhat of a modern, contemporary home. Very straight lines. You need something that pops, right? You need something that. And the floors.
It's the floor
Right.
that does it.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, maybe in about 20 years, you could change this kitchen and put some parquet down.
No, but the floor was a big decision. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
tiles
It's a
were
big
way
ticket
easier.
item, too. I mean, flooring on a bill, on a
my
line
God,
item,
it's
is
thousands.
a car with a lot of luxury features on it.
Yes, it is.
That's what the cost of flooring is.
Yes, it is.
And people need to understand
Yes,
that.
it is.
This is not about going to some Joe Schmo hardwood place and going, hey, give me the $2.99 floor.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
It's a big ticket. But you're right. Yeah, you're enjoying it. It's seasonal. You got to take care of it. Yeah.
It's got a feel to it. It's got a look to it.
It's got, yeah, warmth.
And it
What was this? By the time you put it in, close to 30, right?
25,000. Yeah. And we don't have a big house. It's a lot of floor.
Yeah. That's about
It's a
average.
big number.
That's a big number to swallow. For sure it is.
Just
But the windows are like that too. The windows are like that. Trim packages are like that. What else are other big items like that? The paint package.
So the one that I didn't realize that you can blow your brains out,
What's that?
plumbing.
Yeah.
We still don't have our fixed the faucet, which I didn't know you can buy a $3,000, $2,500.
You can buy a
faucet.
30,000 if you wanted
Well,
to.
if you make it out of some crazy material, I agree. But so,
gold.
Yeah, but it's
So
like
where'd you saw that at my old place?
I love that thing though. But if it's going to fit this house really nice, it's black too.
just
Jim,
so
black
just going
carbon.
to tell you now.
It's slow flow. I know.
It's
I don't like a lot of flow. I don't need it. If it takes 5 minutes to fill a pot, it'll take 5 minutes to fill a pot. You know what I don't like? Here's
I
what
don't
hate.
like a lot of flow at night either.
No, we're not talking about at night. But when you're washing your hands and it's spraying all over the place, it's good to have low flow.
We still talking
Well,
plumbing
yeah.
here? What's going on?
Slow
kind of
flow
plumbing.
does spray all over the place. Well, you don't know that yet. Another 10 years, you'll know that.
So that was the biggest shocker is how much you can act. And honestly, Jim, you gave us a very healthy, Jim's budget line for plumbing, because he knows, right? And Stone, he knows. He didn't give me some like ridiculous little Mickey Mouse number. I go, what kind of number is this?
But that's going back to the realistic numbers.
Yes.
I mean, your other people can lowball it, and that's how a lot of guys
Yeah.
do it. We try to give you realistic allowances that you don't blow your brains.
But then the education about finishes as well too. People don't realize you
Don't
start
have a
at
clue.
polished chrome. I saw that you guys went black fixtures a lot, right? I think every single one
Everyone is black.
black. So you're basically at the upper, premium
The premium and everything.
is what it is, right?
And that was the shocker, right? Because I thought, if you get black or you get chrome or you get
No
bronze, what's the difference,
Satin,
right?
whatever,
It's
yeah.
the same cost. No.
No.
And then you get into the dilemma, as you could see, that if you pick a specific line, you
Guess
have to
what?
match all the other
You
fixtures.
gotta buy the whole family.
Yes. So now you have to buy. So the Kohler,
you don't think Kohler knows?
the Kohler toilet paper holder that costs $500. You're
You
buying.
know what? Speaking of towels, when I was down in the show, Kohler has a whole towel range now.
Towels or towel wrap?
Towels. Actual
you need to go
towels.
look at that. You need to go look at that.
They have towels now. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me, but they might have your black towels.
It
Let's
is
see-
impossible.
Let's see if we can get him some.
No, we got to get some black towels. We've been looking for black.
We know
towels.
the people.
we know contacts. We'll do a shout out. I'll send an email out tomorrow.
We need some black towels.
So
here.
what do you need? Like just shower, like bathing towels and a hand towel.
No,
and
more the powder rooms,
Powder
the
rooms.
hand towels and stuff.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
yeah.
bathing towels we stocked up. And I didn't realize you can spend $120 on a towel. By the way,
yes, you can spend a lot of money on a lot of things.
God,
And it adds up, and that's how you get the bill.
Yeah.
No.
And so this is like a death by 1,000 cuts, right?
Yeah, but now you get to enjoy
No,
it.
it's true. It's true. It
You get to come home, open the door, sit on the couch, cook,
yeah,
listen to music.
Even the feel of you guys sitting here entertaining in this space
Yes.
that's never happened before. This is the
Yes.
first time that
Oh,
anybody sat in this
great.
room like this, that this wasn't separated from the rest of the house.
But going back to the cost of the build, and we touched on it a little bit, that you pay your contractor what he wants, and it's done. But then there's the $100,000 furniture bill. Then there's or whatever it is, like,
Rugs.
right?
Rugs are expensive, man.
You have to furnish the place now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge
So-
nobody.
That's not on his line item.
And none of the, by the way, our approach to this, because we've lived in the house for 20 years, our approach was the furniture owes us nothing. So we bought as you can see, we're on a plastic table here because we're waiting for stuff to be delivered. But and that couch there is the basement couch, by the way. So
Until the real couch.
Until the real couch shows up. I lost my train of thought.
Look
All
at
the
the
extras,
crowd.
all
Look
the
at the
things.
crowd.
Yeah. Yes. The cost of furniture is insane. That
Yes.
nobody. And the other thing that people have to realize when you get a price, especially when it's in the upper tiers and it gets into the 7-figure numbers, none of the prices have tax.
Oh yeah,
Right.
And
that's
it's
right.
a big shocker when you say, "Oh no, it's $1 million job."
$130,000
Goes to Trudeau.
goes to tax.
Yeah. No, but and those are, when you talk numbers with everybody, this a friendly
Pre-tax.
reminder. Everything is
Pre-tax.
pre-tax.
I've never said tax. It's always after plus tax.
Right, but as a homeowner,
You assume tax.
It's $100,000. Okay, we owe you $100,000. No, you owe me $130,000, man.
But in all fairness, though, when you go purchase a car, do they give you the tax?
No.
no.
No, nobody gives you the tax.
When you buy a pair of shoes,
Nobody gives you the
nobody.
tax.
It's always pre. So why can't builders do the same thing?
You should.
We should.
I'm
yeah.
just saying to all the listeners out there,
The ones that watch HGTV.
think about think about the tax element, because it's a very difficult thing to
That's a
avoid.
big. It's $130,000 in
Yeah.
Ontario, 13%.
Yeah, of your build.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of scratch. That's your kitchen that just went to the tax man.
Not this wolf kitchen.
No. But a good portion of it. So those are the things that people don't realize is you get dinged on the tax bill. And that's a substantial uplift to the actual cost. That
It
has
is.
to be accounted
It is.
for.
And you got to factor that in. Plus, we even talk about you guys were renting another place to stay at while this was going
Yeah.
on. That's
We got
another
rent
incurred
and
cost.
That's $3,300 a month. We
Got
had a 3-bedroom.
landscape.
And,
costs.
and for anybody who's listening that's a client out there, please do not make the mistake of moving in with family.
No, we bought.
Don't
no.
do that.
We
because
rented
you will tear your family apart if you move in with your parents or you move in with somebody.
because the rental was a fixed 1-year contract. We actually took that number and added it to Jim's number.
So you okay, perfect.
So we made our own line to
You
your
already
190,
knew.
Yeah.
your 170. We added a line
So
177.
let me ask you this. So that the budget we give you with all our things on it, and we do have options.
Yes, you do.
And we probably put a lot of that in.
Yes, you did.
It's there for you to fill out for your own
Yes,
good.
It
now,
is.
does that help?
it did help. Like, this is how we're figuring out stuff. At the beginning, because you have money and you're spending it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's where you go over, by the way. When you have lots of money at the beginning, you start buying wolf appliances, right? Because if I bought my appliances at the end, which was impossible because you'd never have a kitchen,
You'd have candle appliances.
you would have
I know.
Samsung in there.
Yeah.
Right. But so
GE profile.
a GE profile. Yeah. So what does help is it gives you a barometer on how the
Yes,
project's
it does.
going.
It does.
So you know what line items are coming. So when the stairs went in, we knew what that was going to cost. When the floors went in, he had it on his bill. We knew what it was going to cost. So we had a very good sense of barometer on where we are in the project. How's it going? I've had a couple conversations. How do you think we're going to finish, Jim? Because at the halfway mark, it looks pretty good. How do you think we're going to finish? Yeah, we're going to be okay. So
You felt confident, Jim, that we're gonna you guys were gonna hit that milestone.
Look, you know what? My thing always was if we're within 10% of our budget,
You're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
10%.
I think if when it starts to creep over a bit, well, you know what? It's okay, but I try my best to stay within 10-ish.
So
Which is totally fair.
So my neighbors, which had the lower balls, they lower bids. Sorry, getting old.
I was wondering for a second
Lower
what
balls.
was going on there.
Low ball. I meant to say low ball, and I ended
Low
up low
ballers.
balls.
Okay, ball. Yeah, all right.
They were over like 30%, 35.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a couple of incidentals. There's preemptive things that have to happen to get you there that he actually accounts for. The
So
other guys
I did that on his.
You did? Okay. Okay.
Next door,
He's still over.
right? I think my original price was, hey, look at this is
And-
what it's going to be. And he goes,
and that's
"Look,
where he
I can't-
kinda ended up.
I can't afford it. I says, well,
But that's
then
where he
you
is
need
now.
to change your drawings.
And that's where he is now, where he couldn't
And that's
afford.
where he ended
But
up.
it's a lesson that you learn at
But he
the
got
end.
less.
And he got less. He doesn't have a basement at all. It's cinder block still. He ripped it all apart and it's still sitting in cinder block. So now, again, things happen. I'm no ill will to anybody.
No.
Not knowing where you are tells you have no idea on how you're going to finish. And you got to know where you are at halftime. You got to know halftime score.
Completely.
And my wife has been very diligent to stay on top of the budget thing. I mean, we're not in dire straits, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, there was a budget. We want to stay within the budget, and it was a pretty healthy budget. It wasn't if it was, we're trying to lowball.
It's still a lot of money.
It was a realistic budget.
It was a realistic budget,
Yeah.
right? And staying within it because it was realistic. If it was unrealistic, we expect the overs, but it was realistic, and it was buffered and we even buffered it to some degree, right?
10 or 15 points?
We gave it 10 points. We
Okay.
figured whatever he gives us, we got to throw at least 10 on it.
Just in case.
Outside, and we admit to this, outside of self-induced pain. Self-induced pain means we chose the upgrade.
I love that expression. I love hearing a client saying self-induced pain.
Yeah, he gave us the price for shingles, and then he says, but for an extra X,
Let's do this.
you could do this, and you'll never touch that roof again. And I think 55 years, X wins. Self-induced.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because really, at the end of the day, we could put on 30-year shingles, but on one side in 10 to 15 years, they're
It's gonna-
changing it.
That
Fast.
side here, the sun side is getting
Yeah,
cooked.
Yeah.
getting it.
I see it already in my neighbor's house.
Right.
Right, and I just didn't want any of that.
But again, you wanted the information.
I wanted the honesty.
That's all it was.
Let me make the decision. I know how much money I have. Let me make the decision. Don't think you know, right? As much as I'm not going to lead on how much I want to spend, but the fact is, don't think you know because you don't. And I've been pretty good when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if it was something that made sense and it did hurt the bottom line and it went over, we considered it and said it's worth the expense. Let's do it. Right? So those are the
I
things.
mean, we would say, okay, here, X amount of dollars, but I don't think you should spend that.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Well, that's his experience.
Right.
Sharing.
No one's going to see that. Like, no one would recognize. You would know that. I would know that. But, whether you have Longboard or Vic West out there, no one's going to know the difference. Right.
See, the great thing is, I think, the way we set it up, we based our fee on a budget. So our fee was our fee, period. If he went over, he went over. We didn't get any more. We have the fee. It's not to our advantage to make him spend more.
Yeah.
So because I'm not
Other
getting
builders
anything,
do that,
I'm not
though.
getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
Well, but that was it. So this is the
So
difference between his model and other builders. So this is the fundamental difference between the two models. Jim's model, as much as it could be, right? Not knowing all the, what you're going to run into.
Yeah.
You could run into asbestos. Nobody knows. It's very realistic, and he keeps it to, and it's a bit shocking, but it's realistic. Whereas the other model, which they admit to, is they give you a price, but if there's any changes, it's a plus, and then they take some juice on top.
Yes.
Jim doesn't, not that I knowingly, take any juice from me because he has a management fee that he's basically knowing that Caruk Hall is
Based
going to make their
on the
money on
scope.
the scope of this project because
Yes.
we have a management fee. And anything you choose to do within that budget is really your call. You want to go cheaper, go cheaper. You want to go more expensive, we're happy to put the more expensive stuff. But you decide, because we're going to make our management fee. So that was our level of comfort. It wasn't, oh, shoot, we want to now do Trex, which is 3 times the price, which is fine. He'll buy the material, and then he's going to add 10%.
Yeah. But that's the industry. That's what the majority of the industry does.
And he's not like that.
No. Because you don't see the benefit in doing that.
I don't. But, so at the end of the day, I make an extra 5-10%.
It's not worth it.
But, then I got a client to go, oh, fuck, we were way over with this
we're
or
all-
that.
you really got to take the juice on this too.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
need like 10 2x4s. You're going to take 10% on top
Because
of that,
like at the end of it, it's
right? You know what I'm
Some
saying?
do.
man?
I'm just saying some do. Yeah.
you present it and let them make the choice.
Right.
How bad do you want it?
How bad do you want it?
And if he really wants it that bad, I can only give advice and say, I get it, but maybe you shouldn't. Spend it over here.
And
Spend it on your
soffits.
staircase or
the
something.
soffits.
Or the
You see how
soffits.
the
right?
soffits we did in that clear cedar.
Clear cedar.
Yeah.
Which
That's
makes
a Jim
sense.
suggestion.
Exactly.
So the budget accommodated for some sort of soffit, but for X
Metal work
more-
or something for
Yeah,
X amount.
for something.
But he doesn't gouge you with an extra on top of
no,
that.
but he said, "Look, I can
You
get
saw
you
the price.
He says, "Here's what the soffit's going to cost you. I got to install aluminum, or I got to install wood.
Something.
I got to install something. You're not going to have an empty soffit, right?" We went to one of his completed properties, and we saw the finish of what the clear cedar, oiled or whatever finish. Like that's hard to compete with. Like that's I kind of want that, right? So. Again, self-induced.
Yeah.
Now, the differential there wasn't so bad. It was just the material cost that we
Right.
switched it from aluminum to wood, maybe a
cedar.
couple more hours installation fee
Yeah.
or whatever. In terms of the overall look of the house,
It's night and day.
it's and so
That's a detail.
you talk about a detail that
Enhances. it.
enhances a house for a very, in the grand scheme of things, a very small percentage of the cost. But the overall look of the house by having this one detail is astronomical.
And that color and
But I
that
think it
appearance
also
will always be there.
For
Always.
Always.
that number, you get it back tenfold
Just
if you were to sell.
just the look of it.
Right.
It just feels so
Well,
good.
just to sit out there and enjoy it and then have that glance peripherally.
Yeah.
And just
But
see
it also
it was a good
You
call.
got to understand. It softens.
the
house.
hardness. Yes.
Yes.
Right.
It's
You
like
get-
having hardwood floors on the ceiling.
Yes.
Right.
It's really softens the house because the house has bold colors to it.
We got bold colors, and we got limestone, hard surfaces. We got stucco. Then we come around the back, and then we have this beautiful cedar soffit, cedar ceiling over the
It
porch.
adds a lot.
And it wraps around the whole house.
Yeah.
And that was another design. I hate going outside and getting wet when it's raining. So I said, Jim, whatever you do, I need
Gotta
wherever
do
I
the
can
overhang.
walk, there's got to be an overhang. And that's what they did. A barbecue, I don't get wet.
Is it a wolf barbecue?
I got 2 barbecues. No,
No,
actually.
it's the
Oh man, Lynx. I went crazy on the barbecue. I bought a Lynx barbecue out of California. Paid for it 6 months ago. It's still in the border, but I'll be getting it soon. Apparently.
All right. So I think this has been a good chat, man. Anything we miss?
No, I'm
think
being
so.
as honest as I
What
can
do you
be.
think?
No, I think it's been a great talk, man. I think a lot of contractors need to hear what you had to say. I think a lot of contractors need to hear what you had to say, Jim. Honestly. I got one little last segment that I want to throw at you. It's
All
just
right.
a series of questions.
Sure.
I'm going to get you to do this one day because you didn't do it. This is something new that we did.
Oh, okay.
So it's just these questions that I ask, and you just give me an honest impression. That's all it is, man. So what is your favorite construction word?
4-letter word. It starts with
I'm
F.
getting to that. I'm getting to that question. Okay, so I know that one, which is fine. What is your least favorite construction word?
When they say when they have that expression where they go, ooh, that means something is
That's
wrong.
going to cost you.
How many times did Jim say that?
Not too many, but a couple of these. Ooh, you want to do that? Okay, we can do that.
What turns you on in construction?
Progress.
Progress?
Yeah.
What turns you off in construction?
No progress.
What is your favorite curse word?
It starts with an F.
Okay, what's your favorite vehicle? Boat, car, anything?
Yeah, boats are my favorite.
All right. What
Yeah.
kind of boat?
Just any old boat. I like being on water.
What's your least favorite vehicle?
Cars.
Really?
Not a car guy.
You're not a car guy.
No.
You know who you're talking to here?
I know Mr. Car Guy. I'm not a car guy.
What construction sound or noise do you love?
The sound of drills.
Really?
Yeah.
Any kind of drill?
Hammer drills especially.
SDS?
Oh, I can't give you a brand. I'm not in the business. But anything sounds like it's banging something heavy, and I like the sound of.
What construction sound or noise do you hate?
Those compressors that run
Constantly.
Drive me nuts.
The framers.
Can I answer that one?
Sure.
Silence.
That means
That
nothing's
was my
going on.
answer when I answered these ones.
Nothing's going on.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Honestly, I would love to be a contractor.
Really?
Yeah, because I work
Really?
in technology, right? I don't. My hands are on a keyboard all the time, and when you get to do something and you actually see the fruits of your labor, you've actually built something
That's what we go through.
that is actually impressive.
What profession would you not like to do?
Yeah, I don't want to be a doctor.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Come on in, baby.
Rob, thank you very much for inviting us into your new home, brand spanking new home. Jim, it's an amazing house, man. It's an amazing
Thank you.
home.
Rob, thank you
I was here
for
during frame.
being an amazing client. Also, sitting over in the back doing
The quiet observer.
the quiet observer.
The quiet server, giving us booze and food while we're
I
doing
felt
this.
bad. I felt bad. No,
Yeah.
thank you very much. This has honestly been great. So meeting
No,
you and seeing you again and seeing the home.
My pleasure. Thanks, and Jim, thank you for putting
You're
this
very
together
welcome.
because it really for
You know
us.
what? It's nice to because we don't usually get to sit with our clients
And have a candid
And never real
conversation.
can,
like
you know,
this.
because it's good for us to
Yes.
know the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
So we
it's,
appreciate you being so honest and
Yeah.
forthcoming, and hopefully some of these younger guys and the older guys may have picked up a few nuggets here.
Hopefully,
You learn
know.
every day, man. You learn
Hopefully.
everything.
That's the beauty of this construction industry is that you learn you're supposed to learn every day.
You hope-
Don't
and
tell
you-
me that you know everything.
You can't because it changes every day.
It's impossible.
Materials change, fasteners change, everything changes every
Everything
day.
changes. Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.